Hello and welcome back. I'm BoomBoom517 and today I have the main video here right now. There's going to be two bonus videos, but I'll explain more of that at the end of this video. We've got the M4 Sherman up for review. I finally have the replays for it, so let's get started with a bit of history on Sherman, then I'll move on to the upgrade path and then do a look at the armour in Tank Inspector and some of its stats. And then I'll have a few replays and then I'll sum everything up. Sherman was an evolution of the M3 Lee, which was the interim tank. The Lee was designed to be adequate and stopgap until the Sherman, a superior tank, was developed. The Sherman was armed with the M3 gun, initially, the same gun that's the top gun on the Lee. And this gun was far superior to the guns used by the German tanks at the time, long barrel 50mm and the short 75. US tank doctrine at the time dictated that tanks were used to engage infantry, while tank destroyers were used to engage enemy armour when it appeared. This doctrine was flawed, to say the least, but a little more on that later. Nearly 50,000 Shermans were produced. About only 4,500 of those were of the E8 model, which is the Tier 6 tank in the American medium tree. Sorry there. As you can imagine, the Sherman performed well. Its armour, its weaponry was superior at the time of its initial debut to German tanks, though it did have a nasty habit of igniting when hit, to say the least, which led to the Germans nicknaming them Tommy Cookers. Yeah. The Shermans were later upgraded to have 76mm guns at the behest of General Eisenhower, who flat out told the Procurement Bureau that he wouldn't accept any more 75mm armed Shermans. The Sherman also did come armed with a 105mm howitzer, and they were effective in their role. One of the main problems to the outgunning of the Sherman and the eventual deployment of the M26 Pershing was one General Leslie McNear, a ardent follower of the tank destroyer doctrine. Being an artillery officer, he also delayed the production of self-propelled anti-tank guns. McNear was eventually shot down by his superior, General George Marshall, and Eisenhower, but he'd already done damage. Hundreds of lives were lost because of the inadequacies of the Shermans against later heavy armour. Though, to be fair, McNear was slightly misinformed about the effectiveness of the 76mm gun against Tigers and Panthers. He didn't expect the Panther to become the Germans' main tank, and he didn't expect the ranges at which the German Tigers could engage Allied tanks, or the numbers they would be deployed in. The Sherman was handed out willy-nilly to Allies in the war, and also to states accepting martial aid after the war. The Sherman had many variants. The British developed the Fireflies, as you may know, and most famously, the most powerful Sherman variants were the Israeli variants, the M50 and the M51. The M50 using the AMX 1375's gun, and the M50 using a French 105mm gun, which proved effective against modern tanks even in 1967, I think. 1965. And the Super Shermans were the last Sherman models to be produced, and they were produced by those weapon geniuses, the Israelis. But you saw all sorts of fun things, AMX-13 turrets slapped on top of Shermans, all sorts of silly stuff like that. So, I think that's everything I need to say on the Sherman. The Japanese built some dedicated tanks to counter it, but they were never deployed. So, let's just move on to the research path to take in WoT tanks. Okay, so if we go to the research tree for the Sherman, now pretty much all the modules on this tank are going to be new. The only modules that aren't are stock and this radio here. The M4 howitzer is the first opportunity you get to research this gun. As you can see, it's only available on medium tanks in the US line. So this is the first opportunity you're going to have to research it. You can research it if you want. It's 1500 XP. If you don't intend to use it, you might as well wait. But meh. Now this radio, you can research it earlier on, but I researched it on this tank primarily because I wasn't willing to rate around on the lower tier tanks at the time. It's 5600 XP, which you can understand why you wouldn't want to research it on a tier 2 tank. But it's pretty ubiquitous in the US tree. If you're going down other trees, then yes, you'll have encountered it. Both these engines are available in other trees, but this is the first time in this tree that you've gotten a chance to use them. Just flick them up. Here. The stock engine, 350 horsepower. Second engine, 400. Third engine, 460. A good progression. All three engines are worth using. Well, stock isn't, but they're available in other lines, but this is the first time in the medium line you've had a chance to research them. Tracks, 2100 XP. Top engine, 500. Second engine 900, they're pretty easy to research. Top turret 2700, it's got superior armour on the sides and rear to the stock, but the stock's got a better traverse speed and frontal armour. However, the second turret has a much better view range. They did goof in this. That 76mm gun should be here, on the premise that some post-war variants used this turret and this gun. They were mainly martial aid tanks, but hey. And you got this gun, 4600 XP for the M1A1 76mm gun. Let's just do a quick gun comparison. Of the three guns available on the Sherman, you start off with this M3 gun. You'll be familiar with it from the Lee. It's got a slightly worse rate of fire on the M4 than it has on the Lee, but dispersion's alright-ish, aim time's alright. It's good enough for dealing with tier 4s and 5s, basically. You use it till you have the 76 or the 105, depending on your preferences. Now, here's where things get interesting. You've got a 105 howitzer, 2.5 aim time, 0.55 dispersion, 410, 53, 6 rounds a minute, or 6.5-ish. It's a good gun. There are people who rave about it and there are people who hate it. I haven't used it, I'll admit. But I can see how it works with the Sherman. You go around the flank and you drop a HE shell right up their arse. Now, the top gun on this tank, without doubt, is this 76. 12 rounds a minute, 128 penetration, 115 average damage, 0.43 dispersion, 2.3 second A time. Almost as fast as M3 75 on the aim time, but dispersion is better, penetration is better, damage is better, rate of fire is actually slightly worse. Yeah, slightly worse than on the M3, but with this gun you can pretty much snipe people, and it's well worth using. There we go. And let's just have a look at some hard stats. Specific. Yeah. With the top engine and this configuration, the Sherman's got a specific power of 15.29, which is good. Its traverse speed's 37, and with a load limit of 32.3, you can fit what you want on it, pretty much. Now, as you can see, Sherman's armour is, well, it's not fantastic, but for its time it was pretty good. 50, 38, 38 on the hull, and of course 63 all around on this top turret, with a great gun mantle. Now, equipment wise, I'd recommend a medium gun caliber gun rammer, probably ventilation, and then either switched optics or enhanced laying drive, depending on your preference of playstyle. Skills, standard medium tank skills really. And that's about it. Do I? No. So I'm going to swap over to Tank Inspector to get a close look at the armour and do some comparisons against other tanks of its tier. Right, so let's have a look at the armour. Got 64 millets on the machine gun port and all around front and rear and sides of the turret. Flanks and the edges of the cupolas are 38mm, as is the back, although there is a small band of 25mm armour at the bottom of the rear. You got pretty much 13mm across the front deck of the tank, back deck of the tank, 19mm on these little flank bits. You got 25 at the front of the turret and just below the turret, below the shock trap. That's not much of a shock trap. And you've got 25 on the rest of the turret, the roof, and these little bits here. Tracks and the gun provide 20mm of spaced armour. This is a 45mm bit, and that is an 89mm bit, making the gun mantle pretty fit to shoot through at the edges. You'll note, however, there seems to be a great big hole behind this main gun mantle plate, which means you only need to go through 89mm. So if you're shooting at the gun mantle, shoot at its centre, because that's where the armour is weakest, though try not to go down the gun. But the best place to shoot a Sherman by far is the mid-front of the structure, just avoiding, well, actually, given the angles, probably better off shooting for the machine gun port. So let's have a look at the stats on the tank. Now, as you can see, the gun's penetration is great for its tier, but damage is a bit subpar for the average of tier. damage per minute is a bit low. But module damage is good. Reload and rate of fires are not fantastic, but the ammunition count is pretty good. And the caliber is a bit better than average. It's the shell velocity. Gun handling stats though are terrible. The elevation and depression are good, as is the gun reverse speed, but everything else, it's not fantastic. Shermans are better up close and personal. They are a flanker, to say the least. The mobility on Sherman is very good though. It's got average specific power, but its overall power is good. Its forward and reverse speeds are very good, 48 kilometers forward, 18 back. Its train resistance for hard's actually looking worse than average, but it's got better than average soft and medium terrain resistance. You can't pivot in it, but the brake force is pretty good, stopping the tank quite quickly. Survivability wise, top turret gives a nice boost to your hit points, but your hit points overall, they're pretty subpar for the tier. Your module wise, your tracks and your turret rotator and your surveying devices are a bit weak, but otherwise the health on your other modules is pretty good, better than average. Armor wise, the rear arm is better than average on Tier 5, but front and sides, not so good. However, it is all sloped on the front, which makes it actually better than it is. But the turret is fantastic for tier, especially on the sides and rear. And the tracks have a bit thicker armour than most. And the engine fire chance, 20%. Not good. View range is good, as the signal distance, but camouflage is horrible. Just horrible. This thing will only get into tier 7 matches, and 350,500 is a pretty good price for a tier 5 medium. It's pretty good at making money, as you can see. It's got a good load limit. So that's the Sherman. I'm going to do some replays now, and then I'm going to round everything up and tell you about the bonus videos you can expect today. So, I'll see you in a second. Time to roll out. Okay, this first match, I wasn't sure whether I should include this or not. Sorry for the funky quality. Something's wrong. It's just I can't redo these. Well, because 2 of them in 9.5. Yeah, sucks at that. I'll have to investigate further. But yeah, this match, I wasn't sure whether to include it or not, but I decided to on the premise that it's a pretty good demonstration of how to use the Sherman in a flanking capacity. So we're just heading up to the assault match. Now I'm heading up on this flank. The mobility of the Sherman's allowing me to quickly get up here. Moving up a bit, having a look around. Got a decent view range, but can't see anything over there. So I'm heading down to try and engage that T-34, which is just moving up. Oops. I think that was a lag spike. Okay, so I'm going to either ambush him over the edge of this cliff, or I'm going to end up coming around his rear. Looks like I'm ambushing him over the edge of the cliff. Coming around the rear. Facing that, no. Coming round. And surprise! And there he goes. Textbook engagement with a Sherman. So let's move back up to the front to provide some support fire. And the penetration on the Sherman's M181 gun allows it to provide pretty good support fire, as well as good flanking ability. Eyes have moved up there. Coming over using gun depression. Okay, let's try moving along here. DD, can I get a line on him? Nope. Okay, spot anything? Back a bit. Don't have Sixth Sense. Pull back this way. Let's try and go around the flank. Surprise! Oh, missed. As I say, the gun handling.
Enemy armor is destroyed.
Oh, random number generator. As I was saying, the gun handling on this tank is subpar, to say the least. It's not Russian bad, but it's bad. So I'm going to try and engage this Man 38T. It's not even pointing at me.
Enemy armor is hit.
One round. Two
Gotcha.
round. Around this 25. Got him. See if we can get another one off.
Enemy armor is damaged.
Got him again.
Turret jammed.
Ah, damn. Okay. I'm not in particularly good position on our team. While we have punched our way through on this flank, the other flank has just completely collapsed, and oh, I'm all on my own. Waiting for my turret to repair. I better turn around just to point my gun in the right direction, and oh, cover turn. No! Of all the places it could have fallen.
Penetration.
There we go. Around in him. I'm so dead, but
Bail out. This vehicle has had it.
yeah, that was predictable.
Move out.
Once again, something's wrong. I'll have to investigate it. This one, I'm on Redshire this time. And I'm heading over to the cap point. Using Sherman speed to advance rapidly. Or at least almost as rapidly as this looks. So they've started capping our base. And I'm going to take a pot shot at the CLC. Come on, aim, 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 aim. For the round downrange. Don't know if I hit or not. I'll just see when I look at the replay stats at the end. see anyone, so I'm going to push into this cap circle in order to hold the cap. Okay, and I'm going to stay in this gully, because anyone trying to get at me is going to have to come over the top of that ridge line, which is pretty steep. And my gun depression isn't good enough, as I find out there. So, is this guy going to try and charge me over the ridge? Because I'd love that, because shots into their lower underbellies would be nice. Okay, this guy's coming along.
We didn't even scratch them.
Bounce.
Enemy armor is damaged.
Go. Straight through. So we're looking around. Let's see if we can get a shot flick at this guy. Nope. There's a tiger. Sort of side scraping out of here. Get shots of the artillery. Miss. A bit more. See if we can get a shot at it. No. Oh, I spotted him. Okay, he's down. Okay, light tank coming. I'm just ruining the enemy team's day at this point. I can't cap. Pushing to get at me is something difficult, and I'm pretty much spotting everything inside this circle at this point. Not doing much damage myself, but I killed an awful lot of spotting damage at this point in time. Okay, so push it up. It's probably not a good idea to let him go first. Let's see if we can get a shot off with something. The enemy team's just routing at this point. No. And no. He might do a push like that. But better get down. That way I can use my elevation. 25. No. No. Last tank, I'll just sit in the cap and farm some loser points. No way I can cap before they kill him. Because my team has proved itself pretty competent at this point. Though he's surviving a lot longer than I thought he would.
Time to roll out.
This is the worst for jitters, but this match is just too good not to show, even if it is wrecked by the jitters in the replay for some reason. Not that I know that these jitters are going to carry over to YouTube. They might not. It might just be Windows players. But I'm not holding my breath. So I'm in a match with Chaos Prime again. This time he's in his T-34. That other fantastic Tier 5 light, medium. So I'm heading up the hill. While this is happening, news. Yes, news. I've gotten into the Tank General's closed beta test. I'm not going to say much about it. disclosure. At least I think it'll do more disclosure. But yeah, well worth getting into. That's all I'm going to say. So if you're not in the closed beta, try and get in it. It's worth it. What else to say? Oh yeah. In other news, I finally booked my Tankfest tickets. So I will be down at Tankfest this year. So good luck hunting for me. Since you don't know my face yet. Okay, finally battle. Engaging this Egypt. Well, heavy. Can't remember what he is. Place too fuzzy for me to tell, but that was a close shot. And we're just flanking this guy. While the 5 engages him head on, I think. No, not another shot. Seems to be going better than it was when I was just using Windows Media Player. It just doesn't seem as bad when I'm watching them in Movie Maker, so hope yet. Hope yet that it might not glitch at all in there. YouTube. Hope. Whether it actually does not matter. We're currently flanking the enemy. We're heading straight for their base and their artillery. They do have artillery? Yes, they have artillery. The rest of our team is mingling. Enemy artillery. Russian accuracy.
Enemy vehicle destroyed.
American accuracy. Yeah, he didn't stand a ghost of a chance against 2 tier 5 mediums. So I'm hanging up. Oh, Firefly.
Penetration.
And remember it's a Firefly because I absolutely trounced this tier 6 Sherman. Missed with that one. An interesting fact about the Firefly, the gun was mounted sideways. Otherwise it wouldn't have fitted. There goes the Firefly. But I got some good damage on him. Churchill, I think that one is. No, that's not the Churchill. It's no, there's the Churchill. Oh, fudge that shot. Okay, get out of here. He's obviously got a high velocity 75. No way I'm dueling that particular gun. There's no way my arm could stand it. RT-14 is going to go hit on. Oh, what's that guy doing? Yeah, 43, I think. Oh dear. Right, okay. I've, in voice chat, told Chaos Prime to go round the back of this guy. And that's exactly what Chaos Prime is going to go and do. So my job at this point is just to deal whatever damage I can and keep him pointing this way.
Enemy armor is
Straight
damaged.
through the side of his turret. Why am I talking about high velocity 75? It's a Churchill 3. It's got a good gun. Not the high velocity 75, I don't think. It's a Soviet gun? Can't remember. So, creeping forwards. Trying to get a pot shot off at this guy's front armour. But probably not a good idea. Let's go much further.
We've lost half of our engine power.
Engine took a hit. Obviously transmission. Because the transmission was in the front, I think? On the Sherman? Yeah, because it could easily be pulled out. There he comes. Chaos Prime. Getting him from the rear. He's finishing him off. Excellent show of manoeuvring. Okay, so this is the first match we saw. As you can see, I dealt 108 damage to the Covenanter, 15 to the T-34, 229 to the T-25, 148 to the Marder, and 17 to the Hetzer. With detection damage of 12 on the Marder and 204 on the T-25. spotting Armada. So the team scores, of course, and more XP than anyone other than the Armada 38T, who did really well. But that's probably because he was teared down, and he did that damage. The enemy team actually did better than a fair few. I must admit, I did quite a bit more damage than most of them. Details, I fired 11 shot, hit with 8, it's all penetrated, 670 damage, I got hit 8 times, penetrated 6, I bounced 2 shots, but so, for 12,420, 507 XP, the premium account, it's not bad, fairly average actually for a Sherman on a loss. Or win. The Bruiser. Which was this? Yes. Nope. That one. Nope. That one. No. That one. Yeah. This is the second match. It was a third class master badge. Only 108 damage dealt. However, well, you can just see for yourself, really. 6p damage up. As you can see, I'm right down the bottom. Not the person who did the least, though. XP. There we go. Fifth on my team. Not bad. Not bad. But look at that damage. Damage by assistance, and they hit twice and penetrated once. Yeah, my shooting was a bit bad, but 30k points on top. 27,000 creds, 685 XP, big premium. That was quite a good match for me. A bit above average, but hey. And then this one, once again. Third class and the Bruiser, well, 5 for effect actually. As you can see, there's damage, that was 31H that I was shooting at the beginning. Churchill 3, Firefly, got hit on him. Yes, 6. Churchill 3, 104 spotting damage and critical on him. And I spotted the French newbie. Bad. TD. Oh, I'm going to dread that. But anyway, I'm about midway up our team. Chaos Brown did better than me in terms of damage and XP, but I'm not bad. Not bad at all in terms of damage and XP for that. Did with 5 of my hits. 589 damage. Fairly average, really. Fairly average. But this is sort of gameplay you can expect in a Sherman. It's not bad. It's a good solid tank. You can do quite well. So now just to sum everything up and tell you about the bonus videos you're getting this week. Oh, to sum up, the M4 is a highly mobile tank with an excellent penetration gun, slightly subpar damage that's good at flanking, and some long-range shooting against same-tier opponents. This tank was a huge success in real life, but to be honest, it outstayed its welcome. The M26 Pershing should really have been in service by 1944, but unfortunately it was the M4s that took part. It was so widely developed and so many produced that this tank really is an icon of the Western Allies. So, there'll be replay links in the description, and hopefully you've enjoyed this, and you've got 2 bonus videos coming up this week to make up for 2 weeks I missed. One's a War Thunder replay and the other is a World of Tanks replay. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I'll be back next week with another video. So I'm Boom517. If you like this, please subscribe, and thank you for watching. Signing off.